Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Talk2Rami. This is Rami, your host. It's an exciting day in the studio because I'm about to interview a person that I really respect for what he has done in his life. Besides being a cancer survivor, he's an entrepreneur, coach, and author. Logan, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Excited
Thank you. You know, we were trying to do this for a long time, and you were busy, you were traveling, and you're crushing it. You do a lot of great things, and I'm following you. But what is going on? What is in Logan's world right now?
Man, a lot of things. Just randomly, I was like a lot of great things. But then yesterday, I got diagnosed with vocal cord dysfunction.
What?
Yeah. So
what is that?
It's a long story. I mean, this is like a whole different story besides like the whole story here. But yeah, it's like I have to get nose surgery in 2 weeks to get rid of a deviated septum and like
I did that.
All this stuff. And so yeah, now apparently it's like causing shortness of breath and like all came from allergies. And then like yeah, I got bad. So
yeah,
life is great.
I had a deviated septum. I had to go under 5 years operation, but it was a life-changing. I can breathe better, and oxygen gets to your brain, I think, more. That's what my doctor said, but it really changed my life. But, you know, I always want to ask you this because you were diagnosed with a brain tumor, brain cancer. I saw your photos. I saw what you went through. How did you deal with that? Because you came out of it. And you were sitting here totally healthy, and you know you're in the Keto King and all that stuff, and coaching people. And you know, how was that experience? Explain. You know, what did you go through?
Yeah, after being diagnosed with a brain tumor, I learned that you can't listen to just one person. Right, one person's opinion or their thoughts should not determine your entire life. And after I was diagnosed with it, the doctor said, "Yeah, we can't do anything like life expectancy 1 to 10 years, nothing will work." I was like, okay, I appreciate your thoughts and the help that you're giving me, but I shouldn't let your one opinion or your one thought process determine how my life is going to go. I want to hear from somebody else. And so getting a second opinion literally saved my life. And that's kind of my biggest thing is that like when people go into something like this, there's so many voices they're going to hear of do this, do that, but it all starts like here of you believing in yourself. And I really just knew that there was something more out there than what somebody told me. Again, whether it was like, God or just a feeling or whatever it was, I just knew. I was like, okay, she basically was like, she basically was almost like being God to me. Like, you're going to be dead. This is how it's going to go. We can't do anything. That's it. So yeah, it really motivated me.
That was a very hard, I'm sure, for you that do that mental shift. Like you just say, oh, this person is telling me that I'm gonna be dead, and what I'm gonna do, because I know lots of people been in that situation or actually near that, but that shifting that mindset, as you said, that's the most important thing. How you gonna shift your mind and say, I'm not gonna accept this. I'm gonna just try something else. I'm not gonna give up. I think basically what you're saying is don't give up.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's definitely right. And I think in order to have that mindset to say I can achieve something that's impossible, is you have to take yourself outside of a first person point of view and go into third person. And what I mean by that is like, this guy said this girl said that. So now a lot of times when people are told they can't do something, they get very offended or very upset about it. But if you look at it from a third person and say, why did that person tell me that was impossible? Not necessarily of like what it is, but why did they tell me? Why did that individual tell me that? And when you look at that individual, it's probably because it didn't work for them, or maybe because they don't believe in themselves. So that's why when you come back to the root of your own self, that's where you're going to now have that mindset to say, I can do these things and I'm willing to take action on it, and it builds that belief. So when you look at it from a standpoint of everyone's just trying to figure it out and nobody has the answers to anything, it gives you a little bit of motivation that like, hey, well, if no one's really figured it out, all right, well, I'll take my turn to try and figure it out. And that's how you can figure stuff out for maybe your own self, or hey, for whatever disease or whatever you're diagnosed with, in that journey.
But after you got diagnosis with a brain cancer, and then they said this, and you changed your habits. I know you told me before that you changed a lot of stuff, lifestyle, what you eat, what you put in your body. How did you do that? Because I'm sure a lot of people out there, they're asking, this question that, oh, maybe it might work for me. Maybe I'm getting it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I was just so motivated by when the doctor said, like, you're going to be dead soon.
Wow.
I was so motivated by, like, doing the opposite of, like, okay, she just said I'm going to be dead soon. First off, I hate when people tell me what to do. So I'm going to try and do everything, not necessarily to prove her wrong, but to really prove myself wrong, that what she said isn't a fact, right? And a lot of times when people hear something from somebody, they can turn it into a fact by getting upset about it or, you know, blaming them for stuff, right? So I got very motivated just because I saw that there was one thing, which was the keto diet, that could potentially help, right? As I did my own research, I stayed up till like 3 a.m. the night I heard about it, just like, keto diet, what does this do? Saw that it could shrink tumors, it could prevent tumor regrowth, it could, but it does cure seizures, lose body fat, get lean, not hungry. And I was like, wow, this honestly couldn't be more perfect of a game plan or something to do to be able to like potentially overcome this. And I was like, you know what? I got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Like either I'll be dead or I try it and it works. So what's there to lose? So I think when you look at those things, that's what motivated me, was just saying, I got nothing to lose, everything to gain. And when you see things like that, you're ready to take action and take whatever risk you need.
And you know, I think if I'm not wrong, you and I'm entrepreneur, you're entrepreneur, you know, you do a lot of stuff, the coaching and everything else. I think we can apply that principle into entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial life.
Yeah.
Because I think most of us, they give up too soon. If you go back to your diagnosis that, okay, I can't do it. They believe that they can't do it.
Yeah.
They stop. They stop. And I always say, when you stop, you die.
Yeah.
You can't stop. How did you translate that experience into your business right now as an entrepreneur that you're really doing good? And I'm sure you stick with those principles. How you do that?
Yeah, well, it all started whenever I went to go see my first brain surgeon. The first one said, after this surgery, you won't speak or hear again. He's like,
really?
That's a fact. Yeah, he was like, it's not like you can either get the surgery and not speak or hear again, or you could potentially just wait till you die. And then I go see a new brain surgeon, and he was like, no, like, this will be easy. Like, it'll be the super easy surgery for me. You'll be fine. You'll speak. You'll hear. Easy. And so when I saw two guys with the most difficult jobs in the world, but two completely different answers, it kind of showed me, I was like, okay, one says it's impossible. One says it's super easy. Like, which one do you listen to? And I was like, obviously the guy who says it's possible. So whenever he said that, it really gave me motivation to apply to all my goals and to all my dreams of like, people will say anything is impossible, but there is somebody or something that's going to tell you that it's not. And so ever since he told me that, it was like, yeah, it'll be easy. I was like, wow, it's this completely different mindset for the same exact job. So that's what pushed me for whatever I do to say, it's not impossible. You just turn it to I'm possible.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, you know, in addition to what you said, I think one of the biggest problem that we have as entrepreneurs that we don't know ourselves.
Yeah.
Like self-awareness. I am sure that you know yourself very well, the self-awareness. Like, you know who you are, you know where you're going, you know what you want, and you know which direction you're going. And I think most of the entrepreneurs, they don't know that, and the self-awareness. Like, did you have any process prior to your journey that get into the business, say, hey, I got to get to know myself. I got to know where I'm going, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to help people. And this is my experiences. How can I apply those experiences to tangible things that not only I can make money financially, but I can help other people along the way? Did you have that kind of?
Yeah. I mean, there's always, those thoughts in our minds of like, is this for me? Am I good enough? I don't charge enough, whatever, right? There's always those thoughts. But the only way to know, those thoughts, if they're real or not real, is to take action. So I was 20 years old and I started my own business. I didn't know a single thing about what I was doing. I just did it because that's the only way I could grow is like just doing it.
I love that.
If you go back and look at my program, I had literally a PDF file that was like $150 for a keto program. It didn't look beautiful, but it worked. And like, that was it. Like, people don't really care about how it looked. They're like, if this gets me results, I love it. So people were buying it. Like, they were buying it all like crazy. And then eventually it looked better, it was better quality. I added in more. I learned what didn't work, what did work. And so I just kept going with that whole process there. And it just got better and I got more motivation. And it's not like when I started it, it's not like I figured myself out. I really didn't at all. I just began to know myself more. And then I was like, okay, I know myself more. Now I know what I need to figure out for myself as time goes by. And that's how I've been able to grow from going from a keto market to now a business coaching market to now a scaling coach market of helping coaches grow, right? So it just is it's those stages that you have to go through to take the action, because belief is one thing, but then taking action on that belief is a whole different ball game. Like, it's completely different. So that is the only way that people will actually grow, is actually taking action on the belief that they have in themselves. And that's how I basically was able to grow over time. And I even realized what I wasn't good at as time went by. And I focused on what I was really good at, and then made more money in my business to then bring people on who are amazing at it. And
you are actually in the process, you're teaching that people, like the people, they want to be a coach, they want to be like you teach them that process?
Yeah, I teach online coaches how to scale their online coaching business to generate more leads to reach, let's say, 10 to 50K a month. So I really dumb it down, I simplify it, and help them have a streamlined process to, scale.
For example, if somebody you work specific in any industry, or just a specific industry, or like fitness or anything, or
it's mainly for online coaches that already have a coaching business.
Oh, they already have a coach,
but they can't generate leads. They can't get people to be interested or ask them, what do you do, or any of that stuff. So it's like they're basically like ready for this game, but they're not going to go in and win it, right? They don't know what to do. They don't have a plan. So I help them have that plan to generate the leads, get the sales, and really streamline it consistently.
I have this question for you, that we all have dealt with the judgment. I'm sure you've been judged before. They judge me every day, man. And how you deal with the judgment?
Yeah, I learned that people, they're not judging you, they're judging themselves.
Wow, that's powerful.
And because when people judge other people, it's because they're in their bed, they're lost, they've never taken action, they see what you have done, so they want you to come back and sit there and do nothing with them. So I learned over time that I got serious judgment when I started keto. I was literally the first person on Instagram to talk about keto. I was getting literally hate. I would wake up and it would be 20 hateful comments.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, it was so bad. Yeah, it was oh, this guy's a scam artist. He's making this up. His story is fake. He didn't even have cancer. It was a whole list of stuff. And over time, it was very hard because I was 20 years old. I didn't know. I was I'm not making this up. I literally had this happen, and obviously keto is real from what I've seen. And so over time, I learned, because obviously keto grew and those people know that it's not fake. But I just learned that, yeah, people don't judge you, they judge themselves. And I learned too that anytime somebody does judge me, says you're not good enough, by me getting upset about that is making me turn their opinion into a fact, right? If I just say, hey, well, that's what your thought is, right? That's me keeping it as an opinion. But if I said, Rami, you're terrible at your business, and then you get really upset with me, that's you agreeing that I'm right.
That's a great way to looking at it. I agree. That's a great way to looking at it. And then I think the way you use it as your fuel.
Yeah.
To go forward, to keep on going. Opposite that, hey, I'm gonna dwell on it and I wanna let them get into my mind, because the one thing I think that will stop us as an entrepreneur or any business person is to let other people get into your mind.
Yeah.
As soon as we stop that, I think everything is going to be okay. And I've faced that judgment many times, but you got to do what you got to do. You're helping so many people. I'm actually looking into the keto right now, be honest with you,
nice.
And I might ask you some question after the show, but the things is that it's helping.
Yeah.
Your whole goal is to help other people, because you went experience all that trauma in such a young age, and then you came out of it actually as stronger, and now you're sitting here, and I'm sure before you told everybody, this is what I went through, and you can do it too. But what is the problem? I'm asking you, what is the problem? But people they don't listen. I never figured out why people don't listen. They all wanna finesse things. They all wanna say, oh, okay, but I went that way. it's not working.
Yeah.
Is it like a detour? You got to do this. What do you think people not listening? You had that situation before.
Yeah. People want the easiest solution to their biggest problems. So when you look at fat loss pills versus a 12-week program, people are like, well, shoot, if it takes me just swallowing a pill, like I'm going to buy that way over getting a coach for 12 weeks, and that's cheaper. So people go to whatever is easiest, but then they realize, okay, this fat loss pill didn't actually do much. So now they feel discouraged that it's not going to work or nothing will work for them. So they take the fact that this fat loss pill didn't work for them and they'll say, well, this coach definitely is not going to work for me. So nothing works. And then they just stay stagnated in that world of nothing works. And so I think when people look at it and say, okay, this one here, this is a longer journey. It's going to be a lot more work. And I know that, if I do the work, it'll work, right? So if they really see that and they're willing to go through that longer journey at a slower pace, then they'll end up seeing the results. And that's why people never take action in things, because they want the easiest solution to their biggest problems. And I wish it was that easy. It's just not. But people get so filled into that easy route path to whatever they're trying to solve or achieve.
And this is not going to work in business.
Definitely not.
You know it, and I'm sure you get a lot of people, they want you to coach them and say, hey, Logan, what is the easiest way? I want to make it 15K a month. And, I know you have an amazing program, but as you said, they have to do the work.
Yeah. You can take a horse to a pond. You can't force it to drink.
Yeah. So that's what I think that the coaching is important, and what you do that, I have seen, as I said, I have seen your videos that it's your true passion for what you do. That is always is so good to watch. That you really speak with the heart and the passion. I know it's you, and I think that's the reason you attract so many good things in your life right now, because you do it from your heart.
Yeah.
To help other people. Of course, we all need to make money. That's the giving. I always tell people, never chase money, never chase friends, never chase love.
Yeah.
Never be a chaser. You can't catch them. It will come to you if you do it right. But where are you taking your business right now? What is the plan?
Yeah. So I'm looking to really, really scale. I've just come out with a new program with my clients on scaling to make it even more simple. There's actually things I can't really publicly say that I can tell you after this. That I'm in the works on. It's not necessarily related to my current business, but it's related to kind of my story and stuff. But yeah, the goal is to just literally help every single online coach that has the knowledge to change people's lives, but they can't find those people that they're looking for. If I can help them find those people, which is generate leads and get those sales, then they just changed somebody else's life, and that coach's life was just changed because now they're financially free. So, if I could just, 10x all of that on a monthly, yearly basis, then it's exactly what I'm aiming for.
That's good. Basically, and one day you have to be able to fire yourself too. Like not fire as a business, but scale it.
Yeah.
Because you and I, we know if you don't scale it, you don't have a business.
Yeah, I'm in that right now.
That's what you are in there. Because you did solopreneur now that says, I've been an entrepreneur too now. How can I scale it? Because all the great business people, they eventually scale their businesses.
Yeah.
But do you have any advice for any entrepreneurs out there that they have the product, they have the things that they think, this is going to do it, I'm going to make it, and do you have any advice that how they're going to approach it, how they're going to put the pieces together before even going to the market?
Yeah, in order to make any business go well, you have to ask yourself, is this product of high demand? Do people truly want it? And will people pull their credit card out for it? And what is your specific niche, right? Like who if you could tell me in one sentence, who is that exact person that for a fact would buy that product or buy your coaching? And if you can't answer those four definitively, go back and rethink what you're selling and who it's for, because those are the four most important steps to make any business go well. If you look at Apple, right, they came out with iPods, iPads, iPhone, TV, blah, 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 blah. And they literally went bankrupt, and they were like, all right, guys, hold on. We got to cut stuff out here. And they're like, you know what? We're going to do iPods. So they became like obviously the only iPod producers, and they became insanely successful. Now they're like, okay, let's do phones, let's do this, let's do that. Now they can do anything, right? But they all started with that one specific solution and then branched from there as that one product, made it big over time.
Basically, know your product and what you're going to do and how you're going to sell it and how you're going to pitch that. Then you can scale. But getting back to keto is a very interesting. We can talk about it, for days. But I have seen, because I'm looking into the keto, and I have seen so many ketos program. Which one is keto? That's what I'm asking you. You are the king of keto. Really, there are so many different forms and shape and this, and I think somebody got it and copied it in different ways.
Yeah.
What is actually keto? Because you have talked to keto people, you interviewed people. I know that you study it. What is keto for somebody that wants to go to keto?
Yeah. Oh man, to really dumb it down, high fat, medium protein, low carb diet. And if you make it very, very simple, where 80% of your calories, or let's say 70% of your calories are coming from fat, 20% from protein, and 10% from carbs. And if you just take it in that caloric, stat there, that's as simple as it can get. Yeah. I mean, there's bulletproof coffees, there's keto coffees, there's fasting, no fasting, high fat, low fat. There's all those different keto forms. But if you literally just say, okay, 70 to 80% of my calories are fat, 20 to 30 from protein, and 5 to 15 from carbs, that's it. That's as simple as it gets there.
And I know people, they have done keto, they lost weight, they're healthier. They're actually, one of my friends, he thinks much clearly. Mm-hmm. Like he said, he doesn't have a brain fog anymore. Is that right?
Yeah. He's probably having, because his blood sugar's more stabilized. So he's not getting spikes up and down, because when you eat sugar or eat, high density carbs, your blood sugar's spiked and then it goes right back down. So, when you eat, you're and you feel just so drained and so tired. That's because you had a huge blood sugar spike and then it went way back down. But with keto, it doesn't really spike your blood sugar, so it keeps it at a pretty, steady state the whole time. So that's why people, they're like, oh, I'm not tired. Or they're like, oh, I'm not hungry at all. It's just because it's at a very steady state of your blood sugar levels.
And how long you've been doing keto for like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's been 5-6 years now. So I'm definitely more flexible. I'm doing more paleo right now, but I'm still doing keto on and off. But in a perfect world, I did literally perfect keto diet for 4.5 years straight.
How was it?
It was great. It was fantastic. It's not
Is it easy to manage, really?
Yeah, it's super easy. You can go eat at any restaurant you want, still do keto. You can go make eggs, bacon, and avocados in 5 minutes. So it's super easy. It just comes down to I think the hardest part for people is when people do things like this alone, they go with their friends to go eat somewhere, they feel probably judged, or wait, those French fries, those look super easy and delicious, but it comes down to honestly, being around the right people, or just, not having to go out all the time with your friends and stuff.
That goes back to my question, the environment, because I know for a fact you hang around with the people that they believe in you, they give you the energy, they say, Logan, you're doing a great job, vice versa. How important is your environment is for you?
It's very important to have the right environment, but when you truly believe in yourself, you can go around anybody and your belief in yourself will not change, right? So I've been around people who are not anywhere near what I'm trying to pursue, and they're living a completely different life, but I don't fall into that because I really believe my life is this way and it's not changing. I'm moving forward to my goals, and hanging around him or her won't change that either way. But for people who are now starting into this sort of thing, it's very key. Yes, you have to be around the right people, because that's where habits are starting to be created, right? When you have the right habits coming in, then you've built your own habit, your own new self, to then now go be with anybody, and it's not going to affect you negatively or positively if you truly believe you've got yourself, figured out as far as what you want. So
how you reject negative people then?
How do I what?
How you reject negative people? Like you rejecting it? I have seen negative people around me, and I have a severe allergy to negative people.
Yeah. I think negative people, there's something wrong with them, right? They've been through some sort of trauma in one way or another. So when I see negative people, and if they try and bring that to me, I don't hate them, and nor do they really hate me. They really just hate themselves. And so when you really see it like that, I'm not saying, oh, I'm better than somebody if they hate on me. It's just more in the sense of like, I know right there, they've been through something. That's why they're bringing it to me. And whatever that is, they're going to have to figure that out, but they don't see it right now. And I do. And because I see it like that, I wish them nothing but the best, but I'm not slowing down. I'm not changing myself.
That's a great approach, man. I hope people understand that, the time and the energy that we spend, and as you said, to negative stuff, we're not going to buy the time back. And those people, they might went through something, but we still got to keep on going.
Yeah.
And the self-belief, and they believe in what you do and what you're trying to do and how you're going to do that. That's so important. But do you have any advice in a whole for the entrepreneurs out there?
Yeah.
What would you tell this entrepreneur? They're going to start, like they're 20 and he said, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, Logan. I want to be you. What advice do you have?
Yeah, I mean, just be very persistent and very consistent. I mean, like, you're going to hit a roadblock. You're going to hit those, it's not working. But if you see something so deeply long-term, those little roadblocks don't necessarily affect you, at least emotionally or mentally, right? And so a lot of times at a young age, I went through it. I was 20 years old, 21, 22, and I'm like, oh my God, like, it was the worst day in our business ever, and it absolutely destroyed me. No, it didn't. It's just one day, right? But if it's like, if you really believe that things are going to go well, that one day is like such a small piece of dust. And when you see it long term, you're going to have those days like this, but then it's going to go like that, right? It's kind of like the stock market, right? It's like always going like this, but notice how it's going up. And I always tell people, I say, don't ever get too high and don't ever get too low. You got to stay neutral. So if you look at like Jeff Bezos, like he doesn't, I mean, he cares, but it's not like if Amazon falls apart in a day, it's not over for him. And then if Amazon hits a record day, like during COVID, it's not like he won the lottery. He just knew regardless, he's going to stay in this emotional state because he sees it long term.
That's a great way to look at it and see it. And I'm sure that comes with a lot of ups and downs and experience. Yeah. I'm sure you experienced that as well. You had your ups and downs. I had it too, but I know how busy you are. You just made it today, and I greatly appreciate
thank you.
That. We've been trying to do this for a long time, but thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you, brother.
Yeah.
And just keep following you, and I wish you the best, and I know you're gonna crush it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.